America, Babylon the Great, military provoking Iran, Persians, the Valley of Jehoshaphat. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High Yahawah, and His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, when the word ignorantly called Jesus because the letter J didn't exist 2,000 years ago. That bonds to my elders at Great Millstone, chopping the truth through the Spirit, seeking honors to the elect, peace and blessings to the one-third, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth, Shalom. Jump right into it. Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. That's a very heavy precept, people. Remember, the Spirit of the Lord is all about prophecy. And the elders of Great Millstone was talking about how all the other camps are talking about debates and all this and that. This is very serious business right here. Because Trump pretty much is provoking Iran, which is biblical prophecy going back to who the Persians are. All right? Let me get to this article really quick before I put the cart before the horse. So let's get right into this, though, and I'm going to get back into a little bit of that history. So this is what they're trying to say, the opposition media. Opposition media reported that Iranian security forces were deployed to break up rallies, which were timed to mark the 40-day memorials of activists killed during the weeks-long revolt that ended last month. All right. So it says this latest unrest reflects deep-rooted opposition to the regime and could affect U.S. plans for a potential attack on Iran, security analysts believe, amid the largest U.S. military buildup in the region for decades. Let that sink in, y'all. This is the largest military buildup in that region since decades. And when did that happen? When they invaded Iraq. I don't know why I said it like that. All right. Check this out. The blood that is spilled cannot be washed away. Chanted today by students at the University of Tehran. The new round of protests showed that the January massacre has changed Iran forever. They are very courageous. What massacre? Stop it. But once again, control opposition. Like John Mayer said, when they control the information, oh, they can bend it how you want. You know? So this is pretty much provocation to try to find a reason to what? Attack Iran. It says Kenneth Katzman, an ex-CIA Iran analyst, suggests the protests offer an opportunity for the U.S. to strike, with the U.S. having previously pledged support for demonstrators, like they really care about the society there. Stop it. I think a lot of it is on insurgents too, as well. You know how they play when they play their proxy games. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me show y'all why I'm reading that. I apologize. It could be. It could give Trump one more opportunity to say he's acting on behalf of protesters, which is how this military buildup got started in January. Okay, so in other words, they're just trying to use this as a reason to pretty much try to attack Iran. All right, check this out though. I want to show y'all some information. Trump going wild out here, man. 6 things to know as Trump says the deadline for Iran strike. Check this out. Right here it says the recent military buildup represents the largest U.S. air power presence in the Middle East since 2003 Iraq invasion. Now, right here where it says the Valley of Jehoshaphat, y'all. The Valley of Jehoshaphat is pretty much where modern day Israel is today, y'all. Modern day Israel is today. So what we're gonna do real quick, I want to show y'all something. Now check this out. You see where Israel is compared to where Iran is? So when it says gathering in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, it's talking about gathering in this region, period. This is where all civilization started, right here, y'all, and what they call the Middle East. Because remember, Israel, geologically, is also known as the Fertile Crescent. Hence, why you think the Lord called it the land of milk and honey. You can't have milk without cows, and the cows can't produce the milk without grass. You need to have good. So it's like the land of milk and honey. You can't have bees buzzing around making honey without flowers. So in other words, the Lord said this is going to be the most fertile land in the earth. All right, but anyways, going back to what I was saying though, look at how close they are to one another. So look at when Iraq had got invaded. So they're over here in this region, y'all. Okay, this is getting hectic. That's why we had opened up with Joel 3. Remember when it says they parted their land? Why you think they over there fighting the Palestinians in the small hats, the 1948ers? And it said whom they have scattered among the nations. Says Lord will bring. Matter of fact, let me read it. Joel 3 and 2. I apologize. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. They're scattered among the nations. That was the transatlantic slave trade. And we'll just leave it at that. You can go back further to Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, 70 AD. When we fled mainly into the northern parts of Africa, but that's a whole nother story. So let's get back to the article. All right. He said a whole bunch of crazy junk here. This is what I want to get to. U.S. military buildup. According to the New York-based security think tank, the SOFAN Center, the U.S. dispatched another 50 U.S. combat aircraft, F-35s, F-22s, and F-16s to the region, supplementing the hundreds already stationed at bases in the Arab Gulf states. Man, this is overkill right here. This is damn near overkill, and that's why. And the reason, I gotta bring it out now. It's not Ezekiel, it's Jeremiah. I apologize. Now, this is Ezekiel, not Ezekiel. I keep saying Ezekiel. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Babylon, that's America, all right, and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Who's the least of the flock that's drawing them out? Israel's was drawing America into this. Israel. Okay? I already mentioned about the 10-day war they had. How Israel calls for a ceasefire because that Iron Dome was pretty much defeated. That the United States had to use one of their like warships or something off coast, and they had to deplete 25% of their own surface to air or aircraft area to air defense system off their own aircraft carrier or like warship. That lets you know, man, that Iron Dome over there is weak. But you still but the provocation of Trump is also in favor for Israel because Trump want that oil. He already got the number one reserve of oil from Maduro by kidnapping them, right? From over there in Venezuela. So now he went. Remember, as soon as he got Maduro, he wanted to go right over to Iran, and that's when Israel told him, no, don't do it. So why? They know they can't compete with them. And you see how big Iran is compared to Israel too. These are the ancient Medes, the ancient Persians too. I'm gonna bring that out too. So Israel is drawing America into this. Jeremiah 50 and 46. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. What's going to move the earth? When those intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, demolish America, turn America into that lake of fire. All right? That lake of fire is going to happen here on earth. People is going to be here on American soil. Judgment happens here on earth. Read Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. Okay? This is wild. Anyway, the U.S. has deployed 2 aircraft strike groups to the broader Middle East region. The buildup represents the largest U.S. air power presence in the Middle East since the 2003 Iraq invasion. That's why this is so heavy, because this is going back into what? Prophecy. And we are at that time right now. The elders are talking about the MOTB, how all these camps gonna have to confess and say that GMS was right sooner or later. I don't know why they did that with that cat. Sooner or later that they're gonna have to pretty much come to the forefront about them being wrong. Because sooner or later they're gonna try and implement to where you got to get the MOTB. And Trump's doing these tariffs and everything. That's gonna hurt them, the poor. It's not gonna hurt them. They're trying to kill the dollar. They want to get rid of this economy and start over again. And then they're gonna try and make people have this kind of communism type society. Like certain places around the world, they already have like fixed income for people. Like the elite say, you will own nothing and be happy. Anyways, Iran had held some drills with Russia, off the coast. Um, a rocket fire warning to pilots in the region was also issued, suggesting Iran planned to launch anti-ship missiles in the exercise. Iran's military exercises and warnings include partial temporary closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a key global oil transit route, underscoring the heightened risk of escalation. So he's like, you know what? Me and Russia are gonna hold some military drills and we're gonna shut down this the Strait of Hormuz. But y'all do y'all thing, but right now we busy. Yeah, man. Those are chess moves right there, baby. Check this out. UK refused to allow RAF bases to launch Iran strike. Donald Trump has ramped up pressure. I told you he going wild. Donald Trump has ramped up pressure on Sir Keir Starmer to back a possible looming attack on Iran by threatening to pull U.S. support for the handover of the Caicos Islands. This dude is going crazy. But such an attack would risk being illegal under international law, as it is neither a case of clear self-defense nor endorsed by the United States. Exactly. The UK is not thought to be preparing to support the US in any military offense against Iran, but has deployed 6 F-35 warplanes to Cyprus and sent 4 Typhoon jets to Qatar as part of efforts to bolster its own defenses should an attack occur. I can understand that because your homeboys on that bull job. You know what I'm saying? Iran has vowed to respond to aggression. That's why I have this passage on the right side of the screen before I close out. Iran has refused to discuss why the U.S. and Israeli demands that it scale back its missile program and sever ties to armed groups. Now, hold on, because they're talking about having talks Thursday. When will this produce or publish? Dang, this is published the 20th. Hold on. No, 2 days ago. Okay, so this is recent. Okay, so I guess they just recently said they're gonna have talks this Thursday. All right. But they would not. They with the bull job. Iran's theocracy is more vulnerable than ever following 12 days of Israeli and U.S. attacks. Oh, yeah, right. All those nuclear sites and military last year. See, that's what they tell y'all, but they're not telling you how Israel is the one that called for the ceasefire. Man, they ain't playing with y'all. This is Isaiah 13, verse 11 through 19. I'm gonna close out. Salakia. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. That don't sound like America is going to be turned to a lake of fire. That sounds like the epitome of America. This is full of evil, wickedness, iniquity, all kind of arrogant people in the proud. Come on, man. Verse 12, I will make a man of the Lord at that, more precious than fine gold. Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. That was the golden belt, that big championship belt that YAHAWASHI had around his waist, man. We're gonna make us more precious than that. Therefore, I will shake the heavens. Well, let me put my mans up here. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. That day is gonna come. He's gonna shake the heavens, and the earth gonna be moved. They said it again. It's gonna happen by who? Starting with Iran them. And it shall be as the chased roe or deer, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So a lot of our people are also in the military too. You're not going to see your sons and daughters. They're not going to return home. They're not. They're going to perish in this war, unfortunately. Well, It's the Lord's judgment, so I don't know if I can say unfortunately, but nonetheless. Their children also shall be Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and and their wives ravished. You know what that means? So, hey, why the Lord said, He said, "I will make a man of the Lord more precious than fine gold." Because if a man, you can think about today, if a man see a woman walking the street by herself late night, I mean, he's more. I mean, if he's a criminal, a pervert, a creep, oh, he will attack her. But if she's walking with a man, he's more reluctant not to. You know what I'm saying? So, verse 17 comes to the point. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. The Medes go back to the Persians. Remember, you had the Medes and the Persian, the Medo-Persian Empire, which became the Persian Empire. All right. Matter of fact, Iran name was changed around 1930 from Persia to Iran. Okay. Matter of fact, let me show you something. Let's jump right on down to it. They try to say that they're descendants from Japheth, but no, we're gonna leave that alone. They are actually, I believe they're actually Edomites, if I'm not mistaken. All right, there's some Shemites. But let's get back to it. Land inhabited by the descendants of Japheth, located northwest of Persia. All right, so Media is northwest of Persia, ancient Persia. Okay. Right, so if you look to the left of your screen, you can see this is Persia, Media, like I said, the northwest, southwest, it's all over pretty much this whole area right here is with the Medo-Persian Empire. As you can see up at the top right-hand corner, it says Medo-Persian Empire. Where Egypt is, remember we walked from Egypt to Israel, right? So right here is where Israel will be at. This little strip over here. And all this over here, like the Medo-Persian Empire. So when I'm reading this verse, this passage, it's talking about Iran today, people. You have to get a better understanding of history to get to the mystery, like the other apostle Gabar always says, and I love that little idiom that the elder always says. So going back, I'm gonna close out Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes or Iranians against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity of the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. That's heavy. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, that's America today, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So who's going to overthrow America? God, the Most High Yahawah. Why the Lord said, pride goeth before destruction. So you have to be this boastful. You have to have this mafioso type of spirit. Why? Because the Lord is getting ready to destroy you and take you out. And we pray the hopeful elect is beaten up and taken out of here, okay? So with that being said, I truly pray y'all was edifying, fed, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent, promise your Allah, Shalom.